I'm not concerned that you're going to rip guy's face off because you're not that type of rider. So a little bit more thigh. Almost feel like your thighs are clothespins and you're pinching up.
You say this like I have any thigh muscle.
You do yoga.
Barely.
And tilt your pelvis forward, back. There. Because you were sitting more on your crotch bones. I don't know, are there bones there? But you know what I mean.
What doesn't feel good if you get flamed.
No. Don't ever jump bareback or with a Western saddle either.
Western, I don't know how people will do it.
I've done it when I was a teen and it's painful. Especially when it's over a blackberry bush and you think, yeah, good times.
That's not a good idea.
Well, I was young and stupid. And my horse was willing.
Of course.
Okay, so outside rein controls the flexion, right? Getting him on the bit. And inside controls the bend. Good. So thigh, and just squeeze a little bit with your calf. Up and down. And it's a subtle thing. You're not doing anything wrong. He's just been trained to be very, very subtle. Which is a good thing, because then it trains you to be subtle.
Yeah.
And do a leg yield out. I find that sometimes helps. Good. And then look at your hip. Rather his hip, sorry. You can look at your hip, but I don't think it'll help much. And ask him to trot out of that. Better. A little better. Don't be afraid to get hold of his mouth, because he does have a soft mouth, but it's not overly sensitive. Because it's a very nice bit. And core, good girl, good for you. Okay, so now when we start trotting him, keep him trotting, and then we're going to do transitions in and out of the trot. I think that will help you.
Okay.
Sometimes the walk is a little bit more difficult because it's, the 4-beat to the 2-beat. People are paying, okay, it's kind of difficult to get that subtlety. But when we slow him down and almost bring him to a walk and then send him forward, that can be a lot easier for it to click in your head. Okay, so whenever you're ready, usually there, that's a little better. Thigh and rein. And wait till, there you go. And relax, take a breath, and use your core. And wait until he's got a very nice walk. There. Talk to him with your hands. There you go. There. That's better. So core, so he doesn't canter. And sit back. Nice. And we'll just keep him forward in a trot. But the canter is so much easier for me today. You're making me work. Nice. Core. Think core. And outside hand. To straighten him out. Good. Good. Core. Core, 'cause he's going to do it again. Told you. As soon as you think he's going to do it, bear down on your core, stiffen up your back. Right here, start doing it, and relax. There, relax, sends him forward. That was nice. Keep him going, squeeze, 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 squeeze. That was a good transition. You were very subtle, so he didn't canter. Now, if you think he's going to do it here, squeeze, 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 and relax, and send him forward. Nice. That's a very lovely trot. He's bouncing. And he's just being careful of the turf, so. Now, ask with your seat, bear down with your core to get him to slow down, and before he does, send him forward. Good. Now, do you feel the energy difference in your hand?
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't, that's okay. You can tell me.
No, I do.
Okay. So, get him to slow down, almost to a walk. And even if he does take a walk, and send him forward. So, we're doing half halts. And almost. Good job. That was nice. And ask for a little bit more trot, just by using your posting. Keep it higher in the seat. Good. Do you feel the difference?
Yep.
He just now lengthened his stride, but he didn't really speed up. So your posting determines the length of his stride, correct? And your posting also determines his rhythm and tempo. But he's a very tricky one, and he will, oh, I'm slowing down. It'll be subtle. So now bear down with your core, get him to almost walk, and send him forward. That was okay. I asked a little suddenly, so that was my fault. So at some point, try doing that again. When you're ready, bring him almost down or down to a walk for 1 or 2 strides, and then send him forward again. But keeping him forward in front of your leg is the key. So what was the difference there? Did you use your thighs, or did you just kind of let it all go? I don't know. And that's why I'm asking you, so next time you can go, okay, wait, checklist. Core, thighs, am I light in my seat? Am I sucking him upwards so that he stays? That was much improved. How did that feel?
Better.
Okay. And you can ask for leg yields in and out on the circle if you want, to kind of work with. There you go. It does help stretch him out. And send him forward. Nice. Now he's going to be a little tiptoey through here, so just be aware. Good rhythm. Toes, because you might accidentally send him forward with your feet because your calf is pointed in towards the side. There. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
Now he just engaged his stomach. He's like, "Ooh, okay."
Here we go.
And his back came up somewhat. And core. Bear down with your core and pay attention to your feet. There. Because he was going just about right again. Core. Nice save. And your left toe? Pigeon toe. I know it's tough. Multitasking, especially at the trot. And think about your thighs. All of the weight going from your groin all the way down to the inner knee. Beautiful. You had it for like 2 strides and then lost it. Nice. Nice, because your feet get light in the stirrup when you do that, so he can actually come up. Now, do you want to do a change of direction somewhere? Okay. Now remember, make it a balanced change, so straight for a couple of strides, and then into the new bend. So your left rein will now be for flexion, and your right will be for bend. And toe. And let's ask him for a walk, and then within a couple of strides, get him back into a trot. Even if it's right back into a trot. Or not. And this is the tricky part. So he was behind your leg when he came out of the trot because he went up and his stride got short from behind. So even though you're going to a downward transition, it's still a forward movement. And that's what confuses people. They think, oh, it means back or stop, and it doesn't. Everything is forward. Core, there you go. Good fix. Nice bending. Core, kind of help him balance. Pigeon toe. There you go. How are your thighs doing? Besides screaming at you in protest?
Yeah.
Hey, just be thankful I don't have the jump saddle and I'm making you go over cross rails with those stirrups.
I remember the days of having to post for an hour with this
Oh, yeah, brutal.
jumping position.
I used to clinic with Kevin Freeman, and that was one of his big things. Kick your feet out of the stirrups. Now do German leg yields across the rail.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Realize how much muscle I don't have now.
Yes, me too. So, but I'm kind of sick because I actually enjoy that. I don't know what that says about me, but core. Nice. And he's speeding up, so you set the rhythm with your posting. Good for you, much better. Now, ask him to do like a 10-meter circle or a volt. And I'll stay out of your way. And out of that or into it, ask him to walk and then trot when he's balanced and forward. And he can trot out of a volt. Don't let him tell you he can't. He may be out of shape, but better, much better, because he immediately came down. And I appreciate the fact that you have soft hands, but sometimes they're not very effective. So,
I think at some point I got so worried about being too aggressive that I'm like, if I just don't touch them.
no, but some horses get really concerned when they don't feel your presence because they start to panic.
Yeah.
And Red is kind of like that. You have to have soft hands, but you have to have firm contact.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between being firm and being harsh. You're not yanking on his mouth. You're not twisting the bit. So, at some point, get him to walk for a stride or two when you're ready, and then get him to trot again, keeping that forward rhythm. Now, see, he was behind the bit. Use your thighs. Feel like you're a clothespin. Sucking him. There, I saw his back rise. Just for a stride. There. It's hard to maintain it, trust me, it really is. And just be aware that your toes may ask him with your calf to canter. So, just FYI, which would be nice. He does a nice walk canter transition. Almost. And really the only secret is just making him stay in front of your leg with your thighs and just keeping the firm contact with your hand. There. Be light with your stirrups. Light, light, light. There! Much better. That was good. What did you do different that time?
Before, as soon as he would start to go, I would kind of release
Okay.
my thighs a little bit and my hands, but I just held it and just used my calf along with it instead of
Good.
just going to my calf and being like, okay, release him forward.
Okay.
Releasing him too much.
Now, if you want to give him a reward, and I know it seems kind of odd right now, let him stretch down just a titch. And you can go almost to the buckle. He won't do anything. He may slow down, but just keep that rhythm with your... There you go. Just to kind of give him a reward for stretching. Or for, working so hard. So I'll try to find a different way of explaining or trying to give you aids so that it makes more sense to you. Because what people do intuitively can sometimes be hard to translate into verbal words.
Yeah.
So all I know is that when I get on him, or any horse, I use a lot of thigh and keep my feet light in the stirrup. And I use a lot of my core, even though I'm at the walk, to kind of give him that idea of transitions coming up. Whether it's a walk, a leg yield, a rein back, whatever. And then I talk very lightly with my hands, and I keep firm. So I just kind of send him into that. Now, it took me a long time to get that, and him, because in the beginning, when I would clinic with Pierre, he would say, up, bend him way to the inside, let him stretch down. And that's how he had to learn, and maybe that's what will help you get that, is letting him stretch down. Maybe not that far, because you're going to have shorter reins at the trot, right? But letting him stretch down and bending really in to kind of help. Because the only thing that he does when he's lifting his head is he's not using his hind end. So he's totally faking it. So he pops up in the front to kind of elevate himself rather than using his hind end and his croup to drop down and lift his hind end. So really all he's doing with you is cheating.
Yeah.
He's staying way behind your leg. Even though he doesn't feel like it, the energy is like a water mattress. You know, in the pool,
Yep.
You sit on one and one end goes up behind your butt and the other one goes in front of you. That's exactly what he's doing.
Okay.
Just because you're not containing the energy to send him forward, to drop his croup and send him upwards.
I'm picking the easy way.
Right, and that's what I do with my thighs, is I'm actually lifting him up. My feet are staying light in the stirrup, because when I press down, it actually causes him to lift up his head because it's painful. Because that stirrup iron that attaches the leather will actually bend like this, and then it will jab him in the shoulder. And that's another reason why horses lift their heads up, because it's very uncomfortable. So by using my thighs, I stay light in my seat, and I kind of suck him upwards. My butt is light. I don't feel my seat bones at all. Just for that momentary 1 or 2 seconds, and I capture the energy with my hands. But it's multitasking, and it can be really tough. But to learn it, I had to really get him to bend around and stretch down. Which sounds counterintuitive, because you would think he's going to be heavy on the forehand.
Yeah.
But really what we're doing is just sending him forward so he's comfortable. Yeah, he may be heavy, he may be on the forehand for just one stride, but it's more comfortable for him versus being with his back hollow.
Yeah.
And you can ask with the long rein. It doesn't have to be super short. There. And this is what I did with Red too. Do you remember?
Yep.
And it causes them to start stretching their sides. They're more relaxed. They're actually stretching over their top line. And by doing so, they're actually able to push from behind rather than out of a hollow back. It is getting, I'm glad we did this early.
I know.
How's your bee sting?
Better. My throat is really sore.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Well, because I have like a cold. So my
Yes.
throat's been raw.
I should have brought some of my cold stuff for
I
you.
think all the sweat has like calmed the whatever it was, horsefly.
That was well, we do have hornets around here too.
Well, we also have those like gigantic horseflies.
I
I
know.
don't know like what it was because it was like right here, so I didn't feel it at first until it bit me.
B-52 bombers.
Pretty much. And I hate killing them because they're huge.
I know.
Disgusting.
And they're gross.
So
And then you hear that pop.
I can't
That just,
stand that. I
yeah.
have to use like something heavy or else I'll.
I can't, yeah. I can't step on grasshoppers. I just,
Oh no. I usually find like a really heavy book or a piece of wood and then throw it.
yeah. I'm not averse to killing spiders or fire ants because you just don't feel that little crunch. But of course,
Unless
depends.
it's a really big spider.
Yeah, I was just going to say, unless it depends upon the size of the spider. Some of the banana spiders I've seen. No. Some spiders are okay.
Yeah. Some I'm like, you're small, you look harmless.
We've got a couple of daddy longlegs. I'm just wishing they would do more of a job catching the
I know,
mosquitoes.
they're terrible.
And he's just paying attention to everything but you
Pretty much.
because his ears are totally forward. He's relaxed, but he's like, oh, we're done.
Just hanging out.
There you go. Now do a leg yield to the inside. So, there. Nice. Nice beginning of a walk pirouette. Turn on the haunches, just a small one. Not quite there, but that's... He does them super easy when you shift your weight and ask. We're not quite at the canter pirouette, only because we're out of shape. I'm not going to ask him and have him blow out a tendon or pop a muscle or something.
Not worth it.
No. Yeah, he's just not quite yet in shape for that, so.
Feels pain.
Yeah. How are your thighs feeling?
They're like, I've got nothing.
Burn!
Left.
Burn!
Tighten, grip what? I don't know. I don't know what that is anymore.
All right, so now you can actually ask out of this. Well, not yet, because he's hollowed out his back. Use your stomach muscles. Toes in. And use more of your, right below your knee, that part of your calf to ask when you ask for a trot. And do a leg yield. Just kind of change his mind about what he's doing. Redirect his focus. Because right now he's going, she's going to ask me for something. She's going to ask me, ah!
I'm just waiting. Bad timing with the puddle.
You know, and what I sometimes have to do is do a leg yield, and then out of the leg yield, ask for the walk. Or trot, I mean. Well, sometimes I have to ask for a walk out of a trot, too, so.
I just end up turning completely instead of.
That's okay. Because really what we want is him to engage his hind end. So leg yield him out, get him on the bit. Use your right rein for the flexion. Good. And send him forward. A little bit too much bend in the neck. I know. What, you didn't want to like
It's like, no, we're going around.
drop up to his knees in a puddle? You can shorten the reins a little. There, very nice. Very nice. You know what? Let's try something different for you, because I know he'll do it. Let's ask him for a halt. Do you know how to do a rein back? With your legs?
I think that I do, but...
So, with your legs in your hands, ask him for a rein back, and you tip slightly forward. Slightly. There you go. Ask it. Good. Good. More with your leg. Legs. Good for you. Now, when you feel, send him back a couple more strides, 1 or 2, and then out of that, when he's on the bit, send him forward into a trot. This is actually, used to be a second level movement where we had to actually do a rein back and then trot forward.
Really?
Yeah. But this is like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. I don't know if it's still in the... Oh, he's not on the bit. So he needs to be stretching down. Good for you. Much better. Now send him forward because he's dropped his croup. Better! How did that work for you?
Much better.
And you only need to do it for 1 or 2 strides when he's round.
Okay.
So the whole premise of that is it's rocking him back on his hind end. He has to basically drop his croup to do it to begin with, right, properly,
Yep.
if his back is not hollow. So he has to be on the bit, and he's hollow. So, core, and toes. And bend him to the outside just a little bit. Bend him to the outside. Straighten him out. Whoops, as I tilt the camera, and then bend him to the inside. His neck's a little stuck. So bend him really to the inside. And use your core. There. There. He was stuck. We were just trying to find a way to help him get unstuck. So bend him again to the inside. And then straighten him out. Toes forward. Good. Because that just puts your knee in the proper position. Good for you. Could you feel the instant rotation?
Yeah.
It was really obvious.
I'm starting to connect it a little bit more as a whole as opposed to just my toe.
Right.
Like,
Because it's supposed to start from the hip
yeah.
so that your hip rotates and out. But it's really difficult to do that when you're posting, to reach behind and grab your thigh and pull it back. So unless you're super agile, but I'm not.
Clearly I'm not.
I mean, I am, but not that way. So by pointing your toe, almost pigeon toe, it actually pulls your knee back into him and lays the thigh where it almost needs to be. So it, in a sense, it does rotate the hip and opens it up. Good. So that whole premise of riding with your toes out is such a fallacy. What it would do is, a lot of riding instructors, and I know this is horrible, and I had Olympic level people tell me this. So I'm going to believe them because, well, they were in the Olympics and they did show jumping. So is they would say back in the 70s, they would teach people to rotate their toe out. Remember what we were talking about? Students never going above their teachers?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But if you watch riders like BZ Madden, again, we mentioned this before, her toes are not like outwards.
So many that are like this over a jump.
Oh no.
Like,
You have no thigh contact at all. What happens if that horse stumbles? You're going to go straight over his head.
in there.
Yeah.